Can you see the presentation?
Yeah.
Yes, sir,
Yes,
it's
yes,
visible.
yes. Yes, sir.
Good morning, sirs. I'm Karthik IPS. Right now, the District Police Chief of Ernakulam Rural District. Uh, uh, Ernakulam District is the commercial, which what we call commercial capital of the Kerala. Basically, we were busy with this corona since first week of March. Even before the lockdown, we started working. The reason is we have an international airport, and we all know Kerala is a state where large expatriates are there in different parts of the world, especially in the Gulf countries. So before lockdown, people started coming in large numbers. And that was a very big challenge at that point of time. Absolutely, the district administration and the police agencies were absolutely having no idea how to actually go about it, how to make a bandobast arrangements, ensuring social distancing, and what all the precautions needs to be taken. That was the biggest challenge before us. It was very new. We have never and most of the authorities at the very senior level also never seen such a pandemic situation. It's unlike other law and order issues where we can deal with deployment of force. So first thing we have made is we have made a control room, which is the nerve center of the entire active coordination center of entire activities. We have put a control room at airport, as well as the district disaster management control room was opened in district collectorate and police headquarters at the district level. And round the clock, we have put, we have given publicized the numbers also for any helpline. And we started collecting the data of passengers who were arriving, because they are supposed to go for home quarantine for 14 days at that point of time. So our first strategy initially was we don't have any infection in the state. So the infection is the imported infection. So we need to ensure that whoever coming inside the state needs to be put in quarantine and ensure that they remain in quarantine. That was our first challenge before us. So immediately we have made an application with the help of software professionals. The person working in software, we have requested their help. We made an application, Happy at Home. That application will be installed in each and every person who are undergoing home quarantine, and their location will be continuously monitored, and their health status will be continuously monitored. So one is by technically we are ensuring that his presence is in home. Second thing is we have given a questionnaire. So every day they have to fill that question, and that will be viewed at the police control room. Whether he has a fever, whether he has a cough, whether he has any other fatigueness, headache, loose motion, like that. So health card will be continuously monitored. As well as in that app, once he installs that application, he will be able to have the numbers, helpline numbers, health helpline, police helpline, local body helpline. These are the main people who will be immediately coming to the aid if at all any emergency arises. So that was the application made by us, and we have successfully monitored around 10,000 people. That was in my district alone. 10,000, approximately 10,000 people arrived, and we have put all these 10,000 people in home quarantine, and successfully we have ensured that the infection doesn't spread. That was our first challenge, and we have done it wonderfully, and with the help of district disaster management authority. Because this is a pandemic where a single agency alone cannot do anything. We need a wonderful cooperation between the health, revenue as well as the police. These are the three main agencies initially, and subsequently different agencies came into the picture. Labor department, local bodies and all. Initially, it was the district administration, mainly the revenue and the district medical officer and health officers and the police who were working together round the clock to ensure that people arriving at the airport will be sent to their homes directly without any diversion. And then these data will be shared to every district. We have put a control room with all facilities, data collection. That data will be district wise sorted out and sent to all district collectors, and they will be requested to put these people in quarantine. So that was our strategy. After that, then immediately lockdown was announced on March 23. We all know the complete lockdown was announced. And in that complete lockdown, our main strategy was little different. Not only ensuring these people in home quarantine, we need to maintain the essential services and essential commodities. That was the biggest challenge. People are literally that time they were afraid whether they will be cut short of essential items and essential services. So that was the biggest challenge from day one, from morning. So in Kerala, there was absolutely no problem with regard to the maintenance of essential services and essential commodities. From day first 3 days it was literally tight because it was a complete lockdown. The authorities also have no clue how to streamline these activities. And within 3 days, we have put a system in place where the online passes, we have started giving passes, online passes. Whoever wanted to visit a doctor or need a medical service or wanted to go for buying essential items, they will be they can apply online, and that pass will be cleared after scrutiny by the two authorities, one district administration and the district police chief. These were the two authorities given at that point of time powers to issue passes. As well as in police we have decentralized it, because the basic aim is people should not gather at any place. So the people should not start coming to SP office and collector office for collecting passes and applying passes. So we have decentralized to the concerned police stations, and if somebody want to approach police station, they can be given pass there itself, because people were at that point of time really not aware that there was an online pass facilities. We have effectively used the social media as well as print and electronic media for disseminating the information to the public. That was very, very essential that point of time. People don't know what was the regulation, which is exempted, which is not exempted, whether they can go out for this particular purpose, whether they cannot go venture out for this particular purpose. There was a confusion. So every day we started issuing informations through social media and print and electronic media. And the government also, every day we used to see some 10-15 directions coming. Depending, analyzing the situation, developments in different parts of the state and country, they also used to issue different directions, clarifications, and immediately the biggest challenge is that needs to be conveyed to the policeman who is standing on the road. Ultimately, he is the enforcement authority, he is the public face at the road. So that was the biggest challenge. Every day there will be a briefing and training 1 hour to each and every policeman at all levels in the districts, and ensure that they should know what they are supposed to do, whom they are supposed to allow, whom they are supposed to stop. These particular things they should be known. And the another challenge is they should not get infected while doing this duty. So that was another challenge. Now everybody is aware, wearing mask, wearing gloves, wearing face shield, and the importance of hand sanitizers, the importance of hand wash. Now almost we have seen this continuously for 6 months. That initial phase was a tough phase, creating an awareness and creating awareness among the policemen, among the government departments, with employees, as well as to the public. That was the biggest challenge. So we used to make short videos, we used to make templates, and effectively using social media, WhatsApp, everything. We frequently come in news channels and for giving informations. We keep talking to our policemen over the wireless continuously. That's how we ensure that the regulations reaches the last point, the policeman, so that he will properly allow the people. Instead of somebody, because and there was a discretion also given to the policeman that point of time. It says that only for pregnancy we can allow, but end of the day, pregnancy purpose, somebody is pregnant and about to get delivered in the hospital, they need assistance of 2-3 people. So the policeman should understand that, when he need to inquire during vehicle checking and understand the genuinity, and he has to allow this another 2 people. There is no point in allowing only the woman who is about to deliver. He need a support of father, mother, or somebody, husband will be in different places, and that may be a second child or third child. Who will take care of the first child? These are the challenges before me, because so many distress calls started coming to us. People will call SP, people will call collector, say that, sir, I have 2 kids. Now I'm in hospital. My kid is alone in the home. My husband is in Thiruvananthapuram. He is working as a doctor in Thiruvananthapuram. That was a very, very tough time. So we used to handle that. For that only, we have put that COVID call center in the district. We have put a COVID call center. We have displayed for minimum 4 numbers. With WhatsApp and voice call also. We have put a 4 person at a time handling 4 phones. They will attend the call. And first thing is, all government regulations will be explained to the control room staffs. They should be aware what is the government regulation, what needs to be done, what need not to be done. And so that they will be in a position to explain to the common public, whoever call. So attending distress calls is the biggest, another challenge in the first lockdown period. So through this COVID call center, we were able to attend to their grievances, and so many people have medical needs. They can't go out, especially aged people. So we effectively used our highway police network as well as the police station patrolling vehicles. Once we get the call that we need this particular medicine, immediately that will be purchased through the police network, that will be handed over to those people, as well as whoever in need of essential items also, like fruits, vegetables, ration items, such other stuffs. We used to provide through our police network. So that was a first phase. Then another challenge started. After a week, there was a law and order issues coming up from this migrant labor side. We won't call migrant labor in our state. We started calling them as a guest laborers. So the guest laborers issue started coming up March 29 onwards. And for your information, the Ernakulam district, being the commercial capital of Kerala, is housing, I am rural SP. In my limit alone, 130,000 approximately migrant laborers were there. That was the biggest challenge. Biggest challenge means very biggest challenge that we were facing that point of time. And especially there is an area called Perumbavoor. So that area alone consists of around 80,000 people. 80,000 people means they were coming to the road. Their grievances are genuine, because they don't have enough space in their home also, in the rooms wherever they were staying. In one room, which is 10 into 10 square feet, around 50 people are supposed to stay. And it was a peak summer, March, April time. It's very difficult to ensure that they will not come out. So sometimes they used to come out, the district SP, the district collector, even the minister in charge, we used to go there, directly speak to them. And in fact, we were also exposed in that particular transactions. So that was the biggest challenge. And we started some 2 strategies to deal with that. One, they need a food. Immediately a community kitchen was opened. within overnight we start the particular colony which is having 5,000 people on particular colony, we have put one chapati machine. Within the overnight we installed it, and we have made a committee. They themselves will make a food, they themselves will decide the menu, everything were arranged. Then that particular issue got sorted out. One taking care of their needs. What is their need? They need basic food. And they were afraid that the house owners or flat owners, whoever, will charge rent. And immediately government issued a direction when we highlighted this issue, the rent should not be charged from them. So
please conclude in 2 minutes, sir.
Pardon?
Please conclude in 2 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So rent, immediately that issue was addressed, and later on the another biggest challenge we faced was sending these guest laborers to the respective states. We got an order saying that by evening 8 o'clock we got an order saying that from Ernakulam the first train from the state is going to Orissa, and 1,250 people were supposed to be sent, but whereas I have 80,000 people. That was another biggest challenge, and immediately the DDMA meeting was convened, and we have sorted out the strategies how to convince the other people. They will also come to the road. That should not develop into a bigger long-term issue. So different strategies were made, and coordination with the railways, labor department, revenue department, health department. Each and every person should be screened, and the certificate has to be issued to them. From so where it will be issued, where money will be collected, the payment and all, because it is the ticket is chargeable. So we have made a strategies, and they were sent immediately. So every day we used to face new challenges. So that was the challenge for 10-15 days. And immediately Supreme Court intervened and said that within a week or 10 days, everybody has to be sent to their respective place, collecting the data, collecting that and sending them. We have made a different system, and which were put in place, and that was going on. Then subsequently, so many relaxations started coming in: unlock 1, unlock 2, unlock 3, unlock 4. So each month we have a different strategy. Initially, slowly the community spread started. When the community spread started, there is no point in only focusing on home quarantine of the NRIs and non-residential Indians and non-residential Keralites. That is people coming from other states.
Please.
Sorry?
Yes, sir. You need to
Please conclude.
Yeah, now the focus is, since the community spread is there, now the focus is ensuring that the primary contacts are in the quarantine and they will not come out, so that the infection spread will be controlled. Then reverse quarantine is the most important thing right now. The mortality rate is high for the age group above 60 years. Whereas we were able to successfully ensure through our reverse quarantine strategy that people above 60 years age group will not venture out and get infected. And we are seeing the results now. The mortality rate is high above 60 years, whereas the infection is more in the age group of 20 to 50 years only. Because of that, the mortality rate in Kerala is very low compared to other states. For the ensuring the reverse quarantine, the vulnerable population, the pregnant ladies, children, aged persons, people having comorbidities, diseases, they were ensured that they will remain at home. Through that, these people are not exposed to infection so far. The infection rate is more in 20 to 50 years age, whereas the death rate is more for 60 years and above. So far in the district, it is around 32 deaths only. So this is the strategy, and parallelly, the health infrastructure is getting augmented these days. The first line treatment centers, COVID second line treatment centers, and then the critical care. The government got enough time to increase the skilled manpower, both medical and paramedical, as well as the infrastructure required for treating the patients. Because in the coming days, the cases will increase. It will keep increasing. So to take care of those things, this is the strategy presently.
Okay, good.
Good.
I think you have made a very good presentation because especially we like
I'm sorry, sir, I didn't show the presentation because I started explaining.
we could listen that. Main thing
And we started an initiative also called the Kitchen Garden Challenge.
we
People,
got it. You see,
yeah,
what I am trying to say, few things I have in mind. First thing is that you told you handled around 10,000, migrant laborers initially, but now the figure is around 1,30,000.
no, not 10,000. 1,30,000 was the total migrant population in the district.
Okay.
In that, in one particular town itself, 80,000 were there.
Okay, but there was no check at the airport. All were part time. I mean,
So the migrant population, they never gone through the airport. They went through the train only, ceramic trains.
no, when they arrived from outside, when they arrived,
Outside, yes. What is your question, sir?
my question is they were not checked at the airport. They were not screened at the airport whether they are COVID positive or
Yes,
negative.
yes, yes. No. There was a system. There was a system. The counter were put in place in which the health authorities will check. Thermal screening will be there. Temperature will be checked, and their data will be collected, and that will be segregated district wise. And it is my responsibility, since the airport is in my limit, I will segregate district wise, and it will be sent to the district SPs and the district collector, so that they will ensure that these people will reach in time without any diversion, and they will undergo 14 days quarantine. That is the district authorities duty. Our part is we will ensure in our district, and we will share the data immediately to the other districts.
Okay.
And not only that, slowly we started. Yeah.
That's okay. I got it. Now, secondly, you see, the most important, you are doing a good work, no? But how you have ensured the health of your own people, no, police people, because the one who is at the ground level is in constant contact with the persons. So how you are taking that? Because in other places, policemen, especially Maharashtra, a lot of police people, they get affected.
Yeah, I'll come to that, sir. I have a data with me right now. Number of policemen turned positive in my district. My district consists of 2,500 policemen, including me, different rank. Totally, 20 policemen got affected so far. 18 discharged, 2 is right now in treatment. And all these 20 got affected in the month of June, July, August only, not in the initial phase. Because the first thing is we ensure that the proper awareness class training is given to the police. The day one in the March month itself, we call the DMO. We were also not aware, including me. We started sitting before the district medical officer, assistant district medical officer directly, even before lockdown. Physical meeting was conducted. Every SHOs were briefed that do's, do nots, what is the duty, how to handle this, what is the precaution they should take, and they will ensure that they will reach the police station and brief each and every policeman. And this is the duty every day, half an hour. This is the duty, because parallelly the rules were also changing. They need to be aware of the precaution police needs to take, as well as public needs to take, and they need to be aware of the duties that the government regulation. Second thing is, we have made a protocol also for arrest and all. Once they arrest the police people, they will not take them to police station. The 3 subdivisions were there. We have made a detention centers, arrest cum detention centers. These people will be taken there only. The team which arrest only, that team will be dealing with the entire legal process of taking them to medical checkup, and then producing before the magistrate, and then sending them to remand. All these things, so that.
Okay, fine. Now, last question from my side. How is the graph now?
How is the
Corona graph now in your district?
Now we are getting around 250 to 300 cases per day. 250 to 300 cases per day, and that is the combined district cases.
Vis-a-vis April, May scenario, how are the things?
It is increasing. It is increasing, and because we have successfully ensured the quarantine thing as well as ensured the lockdown and other restrictions. So far, we have not reached the peak. Still, we are yet to reach the peak. And our focus, as I said earlier, is reverse quarantine. 60 years and above people should be ensured that they will not come out unnecessarily, and people having comorbidities, diseases, pregnant women, the vulnerable groups are there. They should be confined right now because infection is in the society already. There is no point in lockdown and all now. Now the strategy is micro containment only. If some area is infected, only carve out that area and put them in containment zone, ensure effective containment and ensure primary contacts are at home, do testing, do treatment. Focus is completely changed now.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I have a question. Hello, am I
Yes, sir.
audible?
Yes, sir. Tell me, sir.
Kerala was a model state initially for COVID cases. And today also, in terms of number of deaths, I think it is still a model state in terms, because now it is only 489 odd deaths are there. But is it because of the medical facilities available in Kerala or something else that you have done to ensure that there are less number of deaths?
Sir, of course, Kerala compared to other states, I am from Tamil Nadu. So I can see two different states, how it is the social setup, political setup, government setup. Kerala, yes, of course, it is having the best medical facilities, primary healthcare, decentralized medical facilities. That is the biggest thing. It's not that facilities are available only in the headquarters. You go to the panchayat level, the best medical facilities will be there, best paramedical, best doctors will be there, the specialist will be there, like that at taluk level, block level, district level, and medical colleges, of course, that is not the only reason for number of deaths to be low, because the government is so proactive, and immediately through awareness as well as through the available data, they ensure that the vulnerable population are not exposed to the infection. Through successful reverse quarantine, they ensure that the people above age, because I can tell you with the facts, in my district, people above age group died so far is 30. People below 60 years is only 1. Whereas the infection, 90% of the infection is below 20 to 40 years only, not even 50, 20 to 40 years only. That was the target was very clear. The government was so proactive in data analytics and based on that data analysis, how to go about. So there was a frequent change of directions, regulations, strategies. Because of that only the death rate was low. It's not only because of the best healthcare facilities. Even with the best healthcare facilities in Chennai is having, it is being a big city, it is having a best healthcare facilities. Number of deaths are high because the vulnerable populations are exposed to the infection. No matter what kind of facilities you have, once you are exposed with people with comorbidities, you can't handle that. You can't handle that. So that is the reason. And so society per se is different from other societies. They were well educated. They were informed properly what is the precaution they should take, like that, through awareness, through effective awareness program, as well as enforcing. Whoever violates, a strict action will be taken against them. Immediately, government brought in the Kerala Epidemic Ordinance Act. No other state has brought in. We were brought in the month of April itself to give more powers to the government as well as to the district authorities to deal with the situation. So different strategies were adopted. There is not only the reason is not only the best healthcare facilities.
Second is that you referred to about community spread. Government of India has not accepted so far that there is a community spread. How do you explain community spread in Kerala? Hello? Hello?
Your mic is mute, I guess.
Can you,
Hello.
yeah. Can you repeat the questions? I can't hear.
My question is that you referred to community spread in Kerala, but Government of India has not accepted this community spread anywhere so far.
No government has accepted. During my course of conversation, I used the word. End of the day, there was a community transmission. It's a
Yes.
different thing. The government has accepted or not accepted. That is a different thing. People at the ground level, we are seeing that.
Yes. Yes.
When, as per WHO norms, when unknown, the source of infection is not known and it is more
I
in
know, I
number.
know.
Yeah.
I know. That's
Yeah.
true. That's true.
Yeah,
But Government of India or
I
ICMR has
I don't want to comment on why government is not accepting. That is a different question
right.
for
Right.
having a different reason. Okay, that
Right.
is political and all. It's not right for me to comment on that.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. You can have next one.
You can stop sharing the screen, sir.